welcome to Edison Open House Future Transport 2021. So when you were a kid, did you dream of what the future might look like? Well, I'm guessing you all did. And some of that future is coming to pass right in front of our eyes. What I particularly wanted to bring to you today, and we're thrilled to have them with us, is a real vision of the future. So we are delighted to have Josh Giegel of Virgin Hyperloop to explain what the future might look like. Josh.
Thank you, Vivian, for having me. I'm Josh Giegel, co-founder and CEO of Virgin Hyperloop. So I've spent my career building and working on some of the toughest challenges that exist in technology, from reusable rockets at SpaceX to innovative, sustainable power generation at a company called EcoGen. And I've always loved the challenge. And so in 2014, I left my job to start this company and led the technology ever since the garage days to where we're at today. And I also happened to be one of the first passengers to ever have ridden on a Hyperloop system. And that was in last November, and it was incredible. But talking a little bit more specifically, civilization has moved forward as we've moved faster. So connectivity from Roman roads to Spanish ships, the transcontinental railroad, to the airplane. Every time we become more connected, there's been a massive amount of economic growth and idea flow that's occurred. And the internet's just that latest form of connection. It happens to be digital. And that faster connection has enabled things we never thought possible. But what's the equivalent for physical connection, for physical things, for people, for goods? And we really need a new transformation in transportation today. And from an investment perspective, Virgin Hyperloop is really one of the opportunities of a lifetime. So imagine a system that could transport hundreds of millions of passengers a year, the equivalent of a 30-lane highway, one that could save hundreds of millions of pounds of CO2 emissions a year, and one that could do that for a fraction of the cost of aviation or high-speed rail. So enter Hyperloop. It's a fully electric, autonomous system that will create an entirely new industry centered around this paradigm-shifting technology. It's moving both passengers and cargo. It's the best of all other modes with none of the worst. And we're fast on our way to making that a reality. So the garage that you see here is the one where we started this all back in November of 2014. All the way through the development and iteration of the technology over the last 6.5 years to the passenger test we did just a couple of months ago, where I was that first passenger. And we were able to demonstrate that this technology is safe and ready for commercialization. So I want to show you a quick video of how we've been making the impossible possible.
Pegasus, this is Capcom. Prepare for launch in 3, 2, 1, launch.
Today, the first people traveled safely on a Hyperloop. Tomorrow, Virgin Hyperloop will change the way the world moves with an on-demand, sustainable mass transportation system that connects cities in minutes. The future of Hyperloop travel is real, and the moment is now.
Every time I watch that video, it's just as exciting as being inside of it. It was truly the ride of a lifetime. It was surreal to be sitting inside of a Hyperloop. It was even more incredible to be riding in one. It was smooth. You saw Sarah, our director of passenger experience, and myself, pretty giddy sitting inside of there, knowing that we were the first two people to ever ride in a Hyperloop. But I just can't tell you how proud I was of the team that has come together to design, to build, to create everything that you saw there. And it was absolutely magical. It was emotional as we did that. But as we go into more detail about our product, there's really 3 pillars of our product vision: modularity, upgradability, and future-proofing. And these are the cornerstones of what I feel all new technology development should enable. And they allow us to incorporate future technological advances without having to redesign or rebuild our system. If something breaks, it's redundant. If something becomes obsolete, I upgrade. And if there's something better, I incorporate it. And if we look at the world around us, there's one ubiquitous system that does this so well, and that's the car and the road. And the idea of a car being very smart and a road being very dumb is that embodiment. So if a Ford Model T from 100 years ago could drive on the same road as a Tesla Model 3 from today, even though they're light years different in technology, that's really, really powerful. And if we take it a step further and say, why is that possible? Let's look at an off-ramp. Let's look at an exit ramp. If a car wants to get off of a road, all it has to do is turn the steering wheel. If I told you that every time that car wanted to get off, the whole road needed to move or the whole off-ramp needed to move, you would think that that's a crazy proposition. But yet, that's what we tolerate with rail. Every time the train wants to move, the track has to move. And that's something that we knew we didn't want. So when we looked at the opportunities for building a Hyperloop system, what we ended up with was an autonomous electric vehicle inside of a concrete tube, combining our developed magnetic levitation and electromagnetic propulsion to transport us safely, quietly, that has no moving parts, that has no active parts, meaning no high power along the whole track. So just like it's a dumb road in a smart car, ours happens to be a dumb tube in a smart pod, but also happens to be a fast pod. So when people think about Hyperloop, it's synonymous with speed. They've always heard Hyperloop going the speed of an aircraft, 1,000 kilometers an hour, 500-600 miles an hour. So we achieve that by being inside of a tube. We take most of the air out. It would be the equivalent of being at about 200,000 feet of altitude, or about 50 kilometers of altitude. That allows us to go the speed of an aircraft for a fraction of the drag. And then we've combined our proprietary magnetic levitation technology. And for those of you who haven't heard of maglev before, I'm not all that surprised, because there's only a couple of systems in the whole world. And largely that's because it's been too expensive until now. So our smart pod dumb tube approach and our unique performance that's about 10 times more performant than other maglev systems allows us to create a Hyperloop system using brand new technology. And then we combine that with our propulsion system that can go 3 times faster and 50% more efficient than anything else out there. We get something absolutely incredible. It's almost frictionless, and it's definitely contactless. So gone are the days of steel wheels grinding on steel rail, of things that get hot and burn out, of things that rub together and wear out. Those are all products of a bygone era. And that system allows a level of comfort that's unprecedented and smooth enough to not spill your cup of coffee. But our system's also inherently safe. So we have no other interactions with weather or other vehicles, animals crossing the track, or even people, because we're inside of a tube. As I mentioned, our vehicle is highly redundant, so we can lose levitation and propulsion engines and still get to our final destination without having to stop in the middle of the tube. And then lastly, everything is autonomously controlled, meaning there's no operator to introduce human error, some of the biggest causes of accidents in other modes. Gives us an inherent ability to be much safer than other modes. And then Hyperloop is offering an unparalleled level of service. So you show up when you want to show up. You never wait more than a couple of minutes. You get on a pod with only about 25 to 30 other passengers. It goes directly to your destination without stopping at every place along the way, and does that at the speed of an aircraft. So that's the power of what we're able to do. And that all comes together from the unique combination of our hardware and the software that we've been developing into our offering of what we call Hyperloop as a service that we give to the project proponents that allows them to create this unique and disruptive mode of transportation in an unprecedented new way. But finally, the most exciting thing, at least to me, is what this means for sustainability. In a world that really needs change to stop climate change, to reverse it, we need to look at big solutions to be able to do that. And our system's 100% electric. It's energy agnostic, meaning we can use power from renewables, hydrogen, wind, solar, into powering our system. We have a smaller footprint. It can take 30 lanes worth of capacity and put it down into 2 tubes for a fraction of the actual footprint ecologically. And that gives us the opportunity to have a variety of new systems around the world. But that most important thing, being electric, being so energy efficient, is something that we can really stand behind and be that sustainable aspect. I know as a dad of a 2.5-year-old, when my son asked me in 10 or 20 years, as an engineer, Dad, what did you do when the world was heating up? And I can tell him, I built Hyperloop, electric, autonomous, sustainable. But if you came here to just think Hyperloop is a faster train, I'm definitely going to disappoint you, because Hyperloop is so much more than that. All of those benefits that we've talked about Can we take even further because we combine some of the best aspects of the other modes of transportation into something truly disruptive? So we can climb steeper hills than high-speed rail. We can take tighter turns. We take less land. We can have smaller diameter tunnels. And all of those allow us to go on existing thoroughfares, fit on highway medians, go on rail corridors that other modes of transportation can't do. And those decrease the cost of a project. They give us more opportunities to fit in projects all around the world. And that just gives us an even greater chance of deploying Hyperloop around the world. And so Hyperloop is going to put high-speed mass transportation at your fingertips, going where you want to go, when you want to go, enabled by a real-time optimizing fleet management software platform. This coordinates autonomous operations. It forms convoys. It deconflicts junctions, automatically adjusts the fleet to meet not year by year demand, but hour by hour, minute by minute demand through artificial intelligence and reinforcement learning, increasing the efficiency as we get more and more deployments around the world, which is truly exciting. But the thing that I like to say the most is you can't ride a PowerPoint. This company has been centered around showing that a Hyperloop could exist. And the only way we could do that is by action, by building a Hyperloop. So we've created a team. We've run over 500 tests to date on a variety of our systems here in Los Angeles and at our test facility in Las Vegas. We've been making this a reality since the outset. We have over 300 of some of the most incredibly talented individuals working on this from all walks of life, from all backgrounds, from all types of engineering to bring this system. We've created over 200 patents and counting of new ideas that come into making our system truly disruptive and truly revolutionary. And we've been able to attract significant investment to take this seemingly impossible thing and turn it into reality. And the people that have helped us the most have been our incredible partners. So we haven't been on this journey alone. So given the achievements we've been able to do technologically and the project milestones we've been able to hit, we've attracted some of the best in the transportation space. DP World, who's our largest investor, is a worldwide leader in supply chain and logistics. 1 out of every 10 ships on the ocean is one of theirs. And our partnership with DP World gives us the grasp on the critical needs to move goods around the world, the service for high value goods, moving them at the speed of a plane for a fraction of the cost. In addition, Virgin has been a strong partner for us on the passenger side. They give credibility, they give a unique brand experience. They give us the opportunity to show people what it could be like to ride on a new form of transportation. In addition to these investors, we've had a huge amount of other interest from some of the strongest players in the global transportation space. So from Spirit Aerosystems, Aerospace Corporation, SNCF, which is the French National Rail, and so many others, we've been able to attract the interest and the likes of these groups to help bring this idea to reality. And these companies are seeing the opportunity to do something new. They're looking at new supply chains. They're not taking away from their other business. It's giving them opportunity to a new industry, to a new form of transportation, to augment what they're already doing and to give them an opportunity to create new jobs they never thought of before. So lastly here, a paradigm shifting, sustainable, autonomous electric vehicle moving at the speed of an aircraft. That's Hyperloop. It's the best of all other modes and none of the worst. This will lead to a new era in transportation for the 21st century, for the third millennium. Virgin Hyperloop has led the entire way, from a sketch to a product, from an idea to an industry, and from the garage you saw to our Kitty Hawk moment. Civilization has moved forward as we've moved faster. I rode on a Hyperloop. My mission and our mission here at Virgin Hyperloop is to put you and the rest of the world on one too. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful. And I'm going to turn over now to the audience, but thank you.
Thank you.